So basically, I knew that I was different when I was young. When I was like from 2 years old all the way to 13, I felt like every other kid. I never thought whether I was a girl or a boy, nothing like that. But what I did notice that when I went to junior high school, it was still felt kind of normal. It didn't bother me that much because I don't feel like I went through puberty as fast or normal paced like other people. And what was happening was I was just one of the kids, you know. I liked girls, but I didn't know whether I liked them for a relationship. And I think I do remember starting out with a relationship with one of the sisters of my best friend. And that was kind of awkward. I was extremely shy, and I knew I was different inside. I didn't feel like a regular boy. I certainly wasn't tough like the other boys. I still liked cars and motorcycles and all that stuff like other boys did, but a part of me inside was all girl. I would look at a girl and I would say, gosh, I wish I looked like that. Why don't I look like that? I definitely wasn't liking the body parts I had on me at all. And I felt very uncomfortable showering with boys in the gym shower, and I was shy. I was very, very shy. I felt so out of place, you know, being with boys in the gym shower. And I felt like they were a lot tougher than me, which they were, and I was so much more sensitive. And there's really no way to describe it 100%. Every time a woman would walk by me, or a teenage girl, yeah, I would check them out because I still felt an attraction to the girls. Definitely, most definitely. I still felt a strong attraction. I had to feel that way because I was attracted, and I wanted to be one of the boys, you know. So as I got older, I got more physical, and I started to do things that would hide away the feelings that I had inside of me. So I started going to the gym and working out with some friends, and it worked. It worked for a long time, but the feelings were still there. They were still there. And working out and having muscles, those were just like a layer of clothing that you're hiding your true self with. So I would do things like color my hair to look pretty, spend more than normal time in front of the mirror. You know, regular boys, they walk in the bathroom, they comb their hair, they brush their teeth, and they're gone. Me, I had to make sure that every single hair was in place. I was really afraid that I came out so early. I thought that I'd be judged. And they would call me names like a pansy, or I remember one time in high school, this black kid called me a bitch. That struck a chord with me because after junior high and I went to high school, I was pretty much very withdrawn, and I didn't hang around with the same friends anymore. All the while inside, I felt like a little girl. I felt like a little girl, sensitive. Every word that was not nice would stick to me, and I would think about it and dwell on it. It was kind of crazy. I would spend so much time by myself, especially after I got my license to drive. I would spend a lot of time in my car reading or just driving around the city, wondering where my old friends went from school. So I had a very lonely life. So I got involved in bodybuilding when I was young because it's a individual sport and I didn't need to be around anybody. But I wasn't totally lonely. I made connection with a few guy friends, and having guy friends, it was like a cover-up. It was a cover-up because I would appear normal. But I would much rather be around girls. So after I got married, I kicked the appearance of a manhood into high gear. I started dating more seriously, and then I finally got married, and then my true feelings were still there, but I was doing such a great job that I felt like I was part of society. And then shortly thereafter, we bought a home and I had my first son. And that was something else for me to look forward to, being a dad. So my son means everything to me, and it hasn't been easy for him. Me having a son made me feel completely like a dad. I did everything that moms would do too. I'd give him a bath, I would play, and I enjoyed watching him grow. And then finally we enrolled him in Little League football and baseball, and try to answer all the questions that little boys have. That's just the way it is. I loved my son. There's no words in the world that could describe to you how much I love my son. Because before my changes and all that, and before coming out, I looked at him as little me. I would take him on motorcycle rides. We would go bike riding, go to the park, hang around with my nephews and my nieces. I never thought that my life would take the turn that it did. So after many years of being married, I started to feel more distant from the role of fatherhood, manhood, and presenting myself as man. It was getting tougher for me. And I was finding myself miserable. So freaking miserable. I started working all the overtime that they could give me. And because I didn't have to come home. As much as I loved my family, I didn't want to come home and assume the role of husband and fatherhood and all that stuff. It was just getting crazy. So I came home one night and I told my wife that I wasn't happy, that I needed to take a break. I needed to go on vacation, but I wanted to go by myself. So I chose Florida. Came down for a week, And I just did a lot of soul searching to find out where my life was and where I wanted to be, because I was tired of living a lie. So now I'm soul searching and I'm figuring out, how am I going to break this to my family? How am I going to tell them that deep inside, I am a woman? I am a woman that's been trapped in this male body that I've taken to the gym and muscled up so people cannot figure out that inside I was really a woman. So after my soul searching, I told my wife that I wanted a divorce. I wasn't happy and I wanted a divorce. My parents were not happy. My family was not happy. My son was definitely not happy, and he was so young. And after divorce, I got an apartment. I lived alone. And then I was very, very scared of coming out to my family. So what do? I turned around and I got married again a year and a half later. A year and a half later, I got married again. I wasn't happy with my first wife, but it wasn't her fault, it was me. And she thought that all along that it was her. So I started a marriage and I destroyed a marriage. My second wife, that marriage fell apart 3.5 to 4 years later. And she had no clue. And when she found out, she was devastated. And but she figured it out because she saw me go through the biggest change in my life, doing things that a regular man would never do. So all I could do was grant her a divorce, and I went through depression, I went through loneliness, but I had to figure out what I wanted to do. The right thing to do was to inform my entire family of my true self. So the day that my second wife left, I actually went upstairs after having helped her load up her truck with all her belongings. I went upstairs to my master bath, took off all my clothes and jumped inside the tub with the windows open in the bathroom, and I just screamed the shit everywhere. So I screamed and cried. I was sad, but I also felt a sense of relief that I was going to tell my whole family the truth. I was going to tell the whole family the truth. And this gave me a sense of freedom. I felt I was going to be free. So I feel a sense of freedom and a sense of fear all rolled into one. I can finally be myself. Finally, I'm starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. Right away, I started to present myself in the gender that I felt comfortable. I would start wearing the woman's clothes, and I'll start imagining myself how I wanted to look. And everything was coming into place. Everything. I know it sounds selfish, but I didn't think about what other people were going to think. They had to live their own lives, and I had to live mine. I didn't even think about what my son thought, as much as I loved him. I wanted to show him that his dad was not like other dads, that I had a secret, that it's okay to be your true self. What if I didn't tell my son? that I was really a girl on the inside. And then one day in his own life, he has issues. He would be afraid to come out with them. This way, in my own view, I saw it that he's not going to hold himself or suppress feelings of his true self, wherever that may be. So then everything started out like a roller coaster. I planned out my transition and I worked 2 jobs and saved my money to get to where I wanted to be, to look like I'm supposed to be looking. And I wasn't going to quit until I get it. I know it wasn't going to be easy. But I saw how I'm supposed to look. I went through all the pain I was supposed to go through. But I kept visualizing the end result. Wounds heal. Pain goes away. Scars disappear. So after coming out and writing a letter to everybody in my family, that was before my actual surgeries. My parents didn't talk to me for 7 years. 7 years, they didn't talk to me. I was going to be going at this by myself. And I didn't give up. I was headstrong and I had my goals set. And all I wanted to do was keep working and finish what I started, to be the whole person that I've always felt since a child in my heart. And when my transition was done, I felt whole. I was happy, and now I had to reintegrate myself back into society, creating new friends and trying to live a normal life. A lot of people think that people who transition, they feel glamorous or they have to look totally 100% feminine. I think that society is not just black and white, but it's gray. There's a lot of shades of gray everywhere. I still enjoy doing things that I did before my transitioning. I love motorcycles. I just like being me. And I'm not trying to be a fashion model, nothing like that. Just a normal person. There is time that I do feel like dressing up really nice, going to a party, or like when I went to my Christmas parties with people I work with. Sure, I'll be glamorous, but I don't see myself like dressing up in big white flowing gown. I have friends, girlfriends that are heterosexual, and they went to the old traditional white gown and big wedding, but being a woman doesn't mean that you have to like men. What if your sexual orientation is not steered towards men? I thought it was, and I tried dating men, but dating men was not something that I have experience with, and it's not something that I'm attracted to, so it wasn't for me. I enjoy being around women, so I made a lot of women, both heterosexual and gay women. These days, I'm just trying to be myself. Right now, I'm currently dating a woman, and that's the gender that I'm attracted to. Me trying to date men is trying to be traditional, because it would be saying that women are supposed to be with men and men with women. But like I said, we don't live in a black and white society. There's a lot of shady, grady areas. So that's how it is. So I've now been transitioned for a long time, and I've been living here in Florida for over 15 years. And I have goals and dreams like everybody else does. And right now I'm dating someone, and she's very, very lovely. She's charismatic, she's fun, and she's affectionate, and she's caring. She loves animals, she loves the beach, and I'm just taking it slow. You know, life is a funny thing. You can't really plan it per se. You can only take it one day at a time and see where it takes you. I want to grab life by the horns. I know that there's going to be bumps on the road. I want to stop and check out a sunset or two with the girl I want to be with. And I want to stop and smell the roses along the way. Sometimes I go to work and I see people not even stopping and smelling the roses. They just point A to point B. Ever since my changes, I feel 150% woman inside. I feel the passion, I feel the sensitivity. I'm very, very sensual, but in a switch of a hat, I can be very, very direct and very, very positive, like my old self sometimes. It's just the way it is. What I'm finding out, it's very difficult to integrate my past before my changes to the present. It's not easy, it's not hard. It's somewheres in the middle. I think one of the things I'm trying to get used to is the idea that some men will ask me out. I'm really not interested in men. I'm not. And it's a disappointment for them, but for me, it's a reaffirmation. And that happens all the time at my job. And sometimes I don't feel comfortable telling them that I'm gay. It's not really their business or anybody's business. It's like